Hello, Dr. Robinson here, and welcome to our hands-on cooking class for the ketogenic diet. These are great recipes for any type of healthy diet, but they are compliant with the ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet is very popular now for weight loss primarily. However, it is a very good therapeutic diet for neurological conditions. It's actually the diet that Dr. Bredesen uses for Alzheimer's prevention and treatment. The characteristics of the ketogenic diet are very high fat. 70 to 80% of your calories come from fat, but very healthy fats like avocados, coconut oil, healthy meat and fish, high omega-3 fats. So it's very healthy fat. About 20% of your calories will come from high quality proteins and less than 10%, preferably 5% of calories from carbohydrates. So it's a very low carb, high fat diet, but again, healthy fats, lots of low carb vegetables. So we're going to be making a roasted salmon with garlic butter, and we are making a winter kale salad with green goddess dressing and blueberry walnut bites for dessert. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, we are making a dairy-free green goddess dressing. So this is a very creamy dressing, and it will make you feel like you're cheating when you're really eating something very, very healthy. This is a Vitamix. It is actually a great kitchen tool. You can make soup, salad dressings, smoothies, it's unlimited potential. This is very easy to make. You just throw everything in the Vitamix and blend it up. So the first thing we're going to do is add a half of an avocado. You want it to be fairly ripe. And then 1/4 cup coconut milk. This is full fat coconut milk. On the ketogenic diet, you are not going to be fat phobic. You want lots of fat, healthy fats. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, which this is a juicer, which really comes in handy as well. You have to have good strength though in your hands. 1 lemon gives you about 2 tablespoons of juice. So rather than measure, we're just going to use 1.5 lemons. I think measuring is overrated. It takes too much time, and we don't have enough time when we're cooking. We want to cook healthy but easy things. And then we have 1 garlic clove minced, 1/2 cup parsley, 1/4 cup basil leaves, packed, and we are going to do a little bit of olive oil after. We're going to blend it first without the oil. Okay, so I'm going to blend this up. And then on low, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of olive oil. So just so you can hear me, I'm going to tell you, but we're going to add this while it is blending. And the nice thing about the Vitamix is you can take the little cap off and add as you go. And that's it. It's as easy as that. And you can add a little bit of sea salt to taste. If it's not thick enough, you can add a little bit more oil or a little bit of water. But look at that nice salad dressing. We are going to roast this beautiful Alaskan salmon, wild Alaskan salmon. It's very important if you eat salmon that it is wild and from Alaska. Wild salmon is higher in omega-3 fats, lower in omega-6s. It's swimming in its normal environment, eating what it's supposed to eat, and it's the healthiest salmon that you can get. Salmon that's not from Alaska, that's from the US, like California and Oregon, can have mercury, so we try to get wild Alaskan as the best sourced salmon. So a lot of people don't like to cook fish because they get intimidated that they're going to not cook it properly. Fish is very easy to cook as long as you don't overcook it. So I always err on under when I check it, and you can just use a fork to check and make sure it flakes, and as soon as it gets close to flaking, it's done. So we're going to show you how to cook the salmon. One good way to cook fish is in foil or parchment because it keeps the moisture in and the fish doesn't get dried out, and it also infuses the flavors into the fish as well. So we are doing a garlic butter dill salmon. So we have a tablespoon of fresh dill, 2 garlic cloves, and 2 tablespoons of butter. Just going to mix that together and brush it on the fish. Garlic is very healthy, has anti-cancer properties. So does garlic, onion, and leeks are all in the same family. And we're going to put some fresh ground pepper. And some salt. And we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap it up for most of the cooking time, and then right at the end, unwrap it and let it go under the broiler to get it nice and brown. So you want to try to seal it up so the moisture stays inside. We have it on 450 degrees roast if you have a roast setting. And it usually takes about 18 minutes roughly. All right, our dessert tonight is going to be blueberry walnut bars. And when you're on the ketogenic diet, the carbs are really limited. So you have to be careful with even low sugar fruits like berries, grains like oats have a lot of carbs. So you just have to limit that and keep that in mind if you're having a dessert. So this is a very easy recipe. We got a food processor. We're gonna just throw everything in the food processor. That's gonna be our base of the crumble, and then we're gonna add blueberries and some crumble on top, and we're gonna bake it. So we're gonna do 2 cups of oats. One cup of dates that are, make sure they're pitted and they don't have pits. Otherwise, you're going to have some broken teeth. So 1 cup of dates. And then 1 cup of walnuts. You can toast these ahead of time, but you don't have to. The next thing we add is you can either use butter, you can use vegan butter or coconut oil. I'm using coconut oil, and we're going to add 5 tablespoons. This is actually a 2 tablespoon measuring device. So that's 4, and then about a half. And then a half a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to process. Okay, so you want it to stick together. It's a little dry, so we're going to add water. Maybe just a little bit of water. And process it a little more. So that is better. Still a little bit dry. You want it just sticky, so it'll stick to the bottom. Okay, I think that is good. So you can put this in a like a glass dish, because you're going to pack it into the bottom and then put blueberries and then put a little bit of crumble on top. You can also use like this silicone muffin tin. So we're going to put a little bit at the bottom of each. Okay, so we've got a little bit of the crumble in each one of these, and we're just going to pack it down. And then we have frozen Wyman's wild blueberries. Wild blueberries versus conventional blueberries have more antioxidants, like twice as much. So blueberries are not on the Dirty Dozen list. Dirty Dozen are the produce highest in pesticides. If you buy organic for the Dirty Dozen, you'll cut out 80% of your pesticide exposure. And blueberries are not on the list of the Dirty Dozen. So I didn't buy organic blueberries, but I bought the wild frozen, which are a pretty good deal. And we're putting 2 tablespoons, just a blueberry. This is our blueberry layer for the crumble. And then we're going to put a little bit of crumble on top. Okay, we're good. And then we bake this at 325 for 15 minutes. So the blueberry walnut bars are done. Take those out of the oven. And the best way to finish these is to get them really cold, put them in the refrigerator, and then they'll set up. And serve them. You can serve them with a little bit of coconut whipped cream if you're going dairy-free, or whip up some canned coconut cream. You can whip that up, or have it with a little bit of ice cream, whatever you prefer. We're going to check our salmon. It's been in there for about 13 minutes. And again, you don't want to overcook it, so you always want to err on less time. And to check on whether it's done, look at how beautiful that is. You just can try to flake it with a fork and see if it flakes. It's actually, see how it's almost flaking? We're going to broil this to get it brown on top, and by that time it will be done. So the broiler is ready on high. We're going to open the salmon up, put it under the broiler, and you have to be very watchful. 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want to burn it. Okay, the salmon is nice and brown. So again, you just want the salmon to flake. You don't want it to, if you stick a fork in it and you get resistance, it's not done. You want it to be nice big flakes. And it's done. So we're ready to eat. We are assembling our winter kale salad. We're using what's called lacinato kale, which is a really nice kale if you don't want to have to remove the ribs, because the ribs are much smaller. So I really like this kale because it doesn't take as much work and effort. And you can just kind of roll it up when you chop it, and it makes it really easy. So I like to chop my kale fine, because kale can be kind of coarse, so when you chop it more fine, it's a little bit nicer to eat. So when you get to the bottom, like I said, it's mostly ribs, and we can get rid of that. You can also put the kale just really briefly in a little olive oil in a pan if you like it wilted, and it softens it up. I don't mind kale raw, so that's how I am making it. So we've got chopped kale. The winter kale salad, you can use a variety of ingredients. We are using some green apple. And you know, I said before, I don't necessarily measure, just kind of eyeball. We have some toasted pumpkin seeds. Seeds are really high in protein, fiber, and minerals. So they're in a lot of vitamins and nutrients, so that's a good choice. These are hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are high in omega fats, kind of like chia and flax seeds, so it's a little bit something different. So just a sprinkle of hemp. And then we've got dried cranberries. Be careful, these are going to have a lot of sugar. Dried fruit has a lot of sugar, so you don't want a lot. It just gives it some sweetness. But in a serving, you're probably only going to have a tablespoon of these, so it doesn't add a lot. You can do feta or goat cheese. A lot of people who don't tolerate dairy, cow's milk, can actually tolerate goat or sheep's milk cheeses. So this is goat cheese, one of my favorites for the winter kale salad, but feta is good too. I'm going to add our goat cheese. And then this is the green goddess dressing that we made earlier. So we'll add that. And then toss it, and we'll be ready to go. And it's a great winter salad. So again, this is the hands-on cooking session for the ketogenic diet. Roasted salmon, winter kale salad, and blueberry walnut bites. I hope you try this in your own kitchen. It's very easy and healthy for any type of diet. If you like the information you have seen in the video, go to my website, robinsonmed.com, and there are lots of blogs and other recipes that you can check out. You can also subscribe to the newsletter. Thank you.